Yeah, it's one heart, one shot, now the future is yours. Go! I'm turning dreams into reality. In the love with the...
Hello, how are y'all doing? Hope you guys are having an absolutely amazing evening. For those of y'all that are new to Pre-PT Grind, my name is 𝙄𝙧𝙚-𝙀𝙀. I'm a physical therapist. I am also a PT school acceptance coach. And if you're on your journey, if you've just either decided to recently, pursue physical therapy, or you've been trying for some time and you've had your obstacles, you are in the right place. Let me start off with that. Secondly is you are tuning in for what has become my favorite series that we have done. This is, I believe, episode 44 of what we have come to call the Pre-PT Inspire series. And what it is, this is not your typical live stream. This is not a training. This is a story, like we are telling the story of students that have gotten into PT school, but have actually struggled with the same things that you might at sometimes feel sorry, I can't even speak, but that you might currently feel are holding you back from being a strong PT school applicant. So we've had students that, have been rejected, students that have had low GPAs, students that have struggled with the GRE, all the things that we're told are big red flags. And so basically what we're going to do is with all of these episodes is we're going to inspire you by having all of these students that have gotten into PT school share their experience, the good and the bad. And what our goal is that when you listen and say, hey, like, do I see myself in this student's experience? And what can I learn from it? And how can I use it to keep me moving forward? Because we always say that the only way you will not get into physical therapy school is if you quit, right? So our goal is to not to not let you quit by showing you that it's still possible to get into PT school. And so tonight I'm so excited to be joined by Bailey. Bailey is actually 1 month into PT school already. So we were talking about it a little bit, and we'll get there in a few moments. But brother, how you feeling, man? You ready?
I'm ready to go.
Let's take care of business. So let's first of all start off from the top. Before we get into your story of your struggles and your obstacles on your way to getting into PT school, why did you choose physical therapy? What drew you to this profession in the first place? Tell us about that.
Yeah, actually it came from one of my first injuries. I tore my labrum in my left shoulder and went to PT, and basically, kind of just fell in love with the process of, having that pretty much a mentor and a coach kind of build you back up from ground zero to, I was going to play college football. So basically recovering from that injury and going from having no confidence whatsoever, all the way to, ready to go and back to playing football and the thing I love. And that's actually what my first experience was. And then actually losing a family member to the opioid crisis, that really kind of motivated me to why don't we have more people go towards PT instead of pain medications and addictive things like that. So yeah, and I think honestly it just boils down to wanting to help people. I want to be active and help people in my community, and not go towards things like opioids and things like that. Also help athletes that are doing the same exact position I was in. So
that's loaded, man.
Yeah.
That's loaded, and I'm glad that you were drawn into the profession that way. I'm sorry that you lost a family member, but that's such a big deal, man. I think sometimes we talk about it some, but I don't think people realize how heavy that crisis is. And it's a big solution that we obviously help with, with helping people relieve their pain and get back to doing what they need to do without having to rely on those medications anymore. But yeah, man, it's a big deal. So I'm glad you chose physical therapy, man. You're going to make an amazing physical therapist, of course. But let's go to the part that people really came to hear. What were your obstacles? What were the hurdles along the way? You decided you wanted to be a PT. You were like, all right, I know I want to do this. I know why I want to do this. I know what I want to help other people avoid because of what I've seen, with family members and friends and people around me. But now you're on your journey, and it's not easy. I think sometimes we have our own obstacles as students, and we think, oh, shouldn't it have been easier? Like, maybe if I had better grades, it would have been easier. No, like it's not easy for really anybody. And so, like, what were your obstacles? Because I want the students that are listening now, the students that are still working hard towards their acceptance letters, to hear what you went through so that they can look at their own situation and say, wow, okay, like if Bailey could go through that and still get into school, then I can do it too. So what were your obstacles?
Yeah, no, I definitely would say the big two were obviously GPA was the very first one. Being a college athlete my first year, not knowing how to study, things like that, kind of set myself behind in my first 2 years undergrad. And, my second 2 years undergrad, I averaged about a 3.8, trying to make up for basically what I had done in my first 2 years. And then the GRE obviously is a big one. Didn't have terrible scores, didn't have the best score, kind of right in the middle of the road. And honestly, not knowing how, like the whole process of applying to PT school, nobody really drew that out for me. Going through PT CAS, contacting PT programs, doing research on programs, and figuring out the best fit. So my first 2 years of applying, didn't get into school, got rejected, and was only going to look at schools that were in my state for state schools, things like that, without doing any research on any private institutions, things like that, and what schools really fit me and what I'm looking for.
Yeah, that's a big deal. For those of y'all watching live, can y'all comment first time if you're planning on applying to PT school for the first time, and then comment multiple if you are reapplying or planning to reapply. And so if you're planning to reapply, that means that you've been rejected before, or you've been waitlisted and you're waiting, or something along those lines. Because like, I just want y'all to hear that. Like Bailey just said that he applied and got rejected 2 cycles, right?
Yep.
Like two different application cycles. You applied to the schools that, were in state. And I think tell us this before we go to the next question, because I think sometimes like we hear that, and it's very easy for a student who is right now, like after being rejected, is right now kind of struggling with that. It's really easy for someone to be like, you know what, like, but Bailey's Bailey. Like maybe there was something that he did that was like unique. And, I think sometimes we don't realize that there's so many other students that have been through that before and have also gotten into PT school ultimately, that have been through the pain that we feel when we get rejected. So for you, like for a brief moment, like what did that actually feel like? Tell us about that second application cycle, because you were like, man, this is twice now. Like, what were some of the thoughts that were going through your mind? Just raw, honest thoughts. Before we go to the next question, like I want you to capture that, because like I want the students that are going through that right now to recognize that they're not alone. So that when they're going back at saying, okay, am I going to reapply? Am I going to, retake classes? Am I going to, study differently for the GRE? They don't go at it thinking, oh, I've been rejected once, I've been rejected twice, this is bound to happen. So for you, man, like, what did that make you feel? Like, be real with us.
That was just rock bottom, to be honest. Just trying to basically, I started reevaluating career choices. I'm like, all right, what's plan B? Having family members start to question, be like, hey, is this really what you want to do? Like, you've wasted a year or so, and you're not making any progress, kind of thing. And for me, I just really had to sit back and really reevaluate, what's important to me, and okay, what am I doing wrong? What do I need to improve upon, and basically build upon that. And like I said, start researching programs and looking at the accepted system.
Boom. Boom, y'all. Like, I just wanted y'all to hear that, because if you're oh my goodness, like if you guys are tuning in for the first time and this is the first interview you are hearing, I want you to listen to the rest of Bailey's interview, and then I literally want you to just go start listening to all the other 43 that have taken place so far, and just hear these stories. I just need you guys to understand that you're not alone, right? Can y'all comment that I'm not alone? Like, I'm not alone. Like it sounds like a cool statement, but I want y'all to actually hear these stories to be like, yo, that's like that. Like, those are the same fears I'm going through right now. Everything Bailey just said about, thinking of plan Bs, having family members starting to say, hey, it might not be a bad idea to switch to something else. It might not be a bad idea to, start looking for a different career path because you tried this twice and it hasn't worked out, right? So I just want y'all to like comment, I am not alone. I'm not alone, because I think when you can understand that, then you're like, okay, if other people have done it, now I have to start asking different questions. I have to start asking, what are they doing? Like, what do they do? How do they motivate themselves? How do they figure out how to solve the biggest hurdles they were experiencing? And so I love it, man. So let's go to the next question. For you, Bailey, like what led you to search for guidance, like non-traditional guidance? You ended up joining our coaching program, the Accepted System, right? So what led you to say, hey, like I need to find help? Tell us about that.
Yeah, that was at the beginning of this last cycle, and pretty much just, like I said, reevaluating my options. And I had to start thinking about, okay, what am I doing wrong? Is there somebody I can reach out to? I had seen the advertisements for pre-PT grind. I had heard about it from a few professors. And, you know, I had done my own research, and I just finally had to sit there and be like, okay, like, you know, I want to reach out to these guys, see what it's all about. And just kind of just went and shot my shot, and, you know, got in with you guys, and you guys set me up for success.
I love it. I love it. Tell us, and then this is the last question about the Accepted System, and then we're going to go into how you got like your acceptance letter, like that whole thing you just shared with me, you know, right before this call started. I can't wait to have you share that with them. But before we get to that, how specifically did the Acceptance System actually help you? You had applied twice already, gotten rejected, had all those doubts, like your self-belief had gone down quite a bit. Like, how did it actually help you get to where you are today?
Yeah, no, honestly, I think the Accepted System for me it just gave me a blueprint of, okay, like, you know, these are people, this is what they've done and they've had success with. You know, what do I need to start doing as far as, you know, emailing? How do I email an admissions coordinator and, you know, make it sound professional, ask great questions, things like that. Doing research, you know, you can easily just go on the APTS website and start looking at schools and understanding what they want, what their average accepted GPAs, or GRE scores are, all that kind of stuff. Just do all the research. Like I said, you guys help give that blueprint. And honestly, just every step of the way, I mean, I can go through the entire Accepted System, and there's pretty much answers every single question I had. So
I love it. I love it. And for those of y'all that are listening right now, you're not currently like we haven't worked together, and you're looking for help, and you're like, okay, like, where do I even start? Like, how do I get a roadmap similar to what Bailey had? We actually did a 4-part free training. You can get access to it right now. It's at acceptancenavigator.com. So y'all can comment that below, acceptancenavigator.com. We talk about it all the time because I believe every student that is struggling and is looking for clarity needs to go watch it. Like, Casey and I recorded it before COVID, so you'll see there's no masks or anything. So, but we lay it out for you. We lay out the blueprint that Bailey and all these other students have followed to get them to where they are. And it's based off of not guessing. Like, I think a lot of times we think there's some trick or some hack or some method out there it's just being able to figure out what's actually wrong, like what needs to be fixed, how to get clear, and following a strong game plan that's tailored to you. So if you're looking for that and you're just stuck and you're like, where do I begin? Go to acceptancenavigator.com. It's free. You can watch it tonight. And then after that, we give you an opportunity to chat with us. So go there. I'd recommend it. But Bailey, tell us about the day you got accepted into PT school, and then tell us about the one that you were telling me about right before this. Tell us about all of those, and you know, what your emotions were, like how that made you feel after having 2 different cycles, like 2 cycles where you were rejected and you were like, man, like, how's it going to work? And then now things started to turn. So tell us about your first acceptance letter, and then tell us about the one that led to where you are today and, you know, 1 month into school.
Yeah, the first one I got, actually, I was, the school had told us they were going to send out acceptances, you know, for the day previous. So when I didn't get an email that day, I'm sitting there like, oh, not again, kind of thing. And luckily the next day, my coworker, I was working in a PT office, and my coworker said, hey, have you heard anything from the schools? And I just pulled my phone out of my pocket and I saw, you know, Mount St. Mary's University, and it says, instead of, you know, we regret to inform you, it's, you've been accepted. And, you know, just the euphoric feeling of getting that acceptance. And then, you know, about a week later, got another acceptance. And then right there after Christmas, like I think the 29th, I believe it was, I got a call or a text actually from a program coordinator over at South College, and they were I had been waitlisted there, and they had started their January cohort the next Monday, and they had offered me a position. So I went home, reevaluated, looked at all my options, and I just jumped head first straight in, and now I'm a month into PT school.
4 days, y'all. He got that last one 4 days before class started, which is crazy. And so that also speaks to y'all that are waitlisted. For those of y'all that are currently waitlisted, take a deep breath. Like there's there are students that get accepted 4 days before the program begins. And so that happened to be one of the schools that you got accepted into, and it's the one that you ended up choosing, which is absolutely beautiful. But when that happened, like what were your initial thoughts? Like how did that make you, like when you were looking back at what had happened before, like what was it, just surprise? Or was it like what were you thinking after everything you had experienced to get to that point?
Honestly, I thought at that time, this is all that culmination of hard work that I had put in for this last year and changing those habits and, doing things, the right way through the accepted system. That really, I wasn't really surprised. I was more, in shock that it finally happened, but there wasn't really a surprise factor because I felt like I had done what was necessary. I'd visited campuses, all that kind of stuff. So.
Oh, I love it, man. Final question. After everything you've gone through, man, like what's your wisdom? Let's not even call it wisdom. If you were to talk to yourself a year ago, like I asked you this question, 30 minutes ago or like 20 minutes ago, and I said, hey, like, did you think that a year ago, this time last year, you would be a month into PT school today? And you said, nope. So go back and say, hey, like if I could talk, because we're recording this on February 2nd of 2021. So if you could go back to February 2nd of 2020, like what would you tell yourself? Like what piece of advice would you give yourself? And the reason why I asked this question is because somebody listening to this right now, or on replay, or on the podcast, or on the YouTube channel, somebody listening to this is where you were a year ago. Is in that same state of mind, that same state of disbelief or even doubt that it'll even happen for them. And so what would you tell yourself? Like what piece of advice would you give? Because I want you to share that with everybody listening.
No, I would definitely, first off, just keep pushing. I mean, learn from failure. That is the two biggest things that I learned is, don't give up on it. If this is really what you want to do, and PT is what I really wanted to do. I said I had a plan B. I didn't really have a plan B. This was pretty much what I wanted. And, basically learn from your failures. I learned, you can't do stuff last minute and expect to get good results. You got to put the work in, put the time in, join the accepted system, look into it at least. That's really the blueprint that I went off of. And it obviously it works. I'm counting, I think 3 acceptances, 2 other interviews, and another wait list that I had this year compared to all rejections the last 2 years. So that would definitely be my 2 cents.
I love it, man. Y'all keep going. Don't quit. That's it. Like if we could simplify everything we want y'all to get from these interviews, from what Bailey just shared, from anything we've ever shared with y'all, if you guys have been following us for a while, it's just don't quit. Do not quit. Like if this is what you want, and it's so easy to quit when things have not gone well. It's so easy to quit when you have gotten rejected before. It's so easy to quit when you're not doing well in classes, when you're struggling with the GRE and you're just like, man, I hate standardized tests with all my life, right? Like it's so easy to quit when family and friends and advisors are telling you to pick something else. Y'all, it's easy. It's easy to quit when you feel alone. But we, like, if this is what you want to do, just ask yourself in 10 years, if I'm a physical therapist in 10 years and this is what I'm like called to do, like, would I rather be a PT in 10 years, or would I rather be doing whatever other thing everyone else wants me to do in 10 years? And if your heart still says, yo, like, I can't see myself doing anything else, then you really can't quit on yourself. You can't. Because sometimes what happens is we look at things that are very immediate and we say, man, like, this sucks. It sucks to retake class. This sucks. But remember, you're not doing this to get into PT school. You're not doing this to retake classes. You're not doing this to take the GRE or the board exam when you finish physical therapy school. You're doing this to become a physical therapist, right? And there are moments where it sucks. There are moments where it feels like unbearable. There are moments where it feels frustrating. But in those moments, what you have to ask yourself is, hey, how can I keep taking steps forward? How can I get myself to just not quit? If I need people, where can I find them? If I need clarity, where can I find it? Like, that's, just ask yourself those questions. And I'm telling you, if you can go through this year addressing or approaching your application like that, and then owning everything and saying, I'm willing to put in the work. Like Bailey, listen, like Bailey was part of a pretty cool coaching program, the Accepted System. I'll say that, but it doesn't work if he doesn't put in the work. It doesn't. Like it doesn't. So you have to be willing to say, hey, not only do I want this, not only am I going to look for direction, but I'm also going to actually do the work. Like, I'm going to start learning how to not procrastinate. I'm going to start learning how to trust myself more. I'm going to start learning how to believe in myself more. I'm going to start learning how to like block out people that are distracting me. I'm going to be intentional about my habits. Y'all, those are the building blocks of who you need to become to be a strong applicant. But then always remember, 10 years from now, when I'm a physical therapist, and 5 years from now, 3 years from now, 4 years, so whatever, like I'll be able to look back at this moment and thank myself for it. And Bailey, you can look back at a year ago and you thank yourself for not quitting, like, right? And so that's all you, man. That's all you. And to all of you listening, it's the same exact thing. So keep pushing, keep killing it. And if you're stuck and you're like, hey, I don't even know where to start, go to acceptancenavigator.com. Like, we're giving y'all that solution. Go take it. Like, and then afterwards, if you want to work with us, you can work with us. But do not quit. That is the heart of everything. And if y'all can do that, if y'all can just keep moving forward, man, we're gonna have a lot of phenomenal physical therapists coming out of the coming into the profession in the next few years. And I hope to see all your faces in it. So anything else for the people, Bailey, before we wrap it up?
Yeah, no, just the same thing I said. Just don't give up. Honestly, just keep pushing through it, and you seek out that guidance, seek out the Accepted System.
Boom. I love it. I love it. Y'all have an amazing one. Every single Tuesday night, guys, for a while. Every single Tuesday night, feel free to tune in. We're going to try to bring y'all a student a week, sometimes more. But I want you guys to just hear the different stories. Yes, all of them have been part of the Accepted System coaching program, but all of them have had so different stories, different experiences, and they're real. Like, this is just real life, real stories. But at the end of the day, we just want you to not quit. So much love. Y'all have a good one. See you guys next time. Bye.